Welcome to today's episode of the Mango Monkey Show, where we discuss personal finance, investing, and building wealth. I am your host, and today I will be reviewing a super new share trading platform, a revolutionary stock trading platform for Australians. "2020 has seen a bunch of YouTubers talk about investing in ETFs, investing in the stock market, learning about compound interest, learning about money, and turning yourself into a better person. In the United States, they already have a stock trading platform called Robinhood. Not this Robinhood, but the stock trading platform. The lucky people in the US have enjoyed for months the $0 brokerage when they buy or sell stocks on the stock market. By the way, when I say stocks, I mean shares. In America, they call it stocks, but here in Australia, we call it shares. The stock market is the share market. Anyway, since last month, Australia has the superhero platform. It was created by the co-founders of Afterpay and Zip Co. With this new platform, you can buy and sell ETFs for $0. If you look at traditional share trading platform like CommSec from the Commonwealth Bank, if you buy $100 worth of shares or ETFs, you get charged $10. If you buy $1,000 worth of ETFs, you also get charged $10. But if you buy between $1,000 and $10,000 worth of stocks, you get charged $19.95. So really, your ideal parcel size is $10,000. Otherwise, your brokerage is going to be a large percentage of what you invest. You may be waiting many months just to recoup the brokerage cost. Now, everything has changed with Superhero because they do not charge you a single cent if you buy ETF, and they only charge you $5 including GST if you buy individual shares. If you haven't watched my video comparing ETF, managed fund, and individual shares, please check it out on the link down below in the description. Now, a bit of a disclaimer, I'm new to this ETF and mini investing game. I have been investing for 10 years, but I have been using CommSec, Macquarie, and Interactive Brokers. Usually I buy $10,000 or more worth of stocks at a time. So if you spot any mistakes in my video, please do let me know. I also have to tell you that I'm not a licensed financial advisor, although I did pass all the CFA exams. Let's get into today's review of Superhero. To start with, I will mention some key points. Firstly, if you're using another share trading platform at the moment, at present you cannot transfer your shares into Superhero, so you have to start brand new. In the meantime, you'll need to maintain 2 share trading accounts. Unless of course you sell your shares, but then you may need to pay capital gains tax. This may change in the future according to the Superhero website. There will be fees, and the fees may be significant. If you have been trading, you may know that normally you have a little bit of cash sitting on the trading platform. With Superhero, your cash is held within the National Australia Bank. Therefore, it should be covered by the government guarantee up to $250,000. Combined with all of the other money that you have with the National Australia Bank group of brands. How do you transfer money into Superhero? You can do that with Pay ID. Pay ID should be instant, but I did try to transfer money into my Superhero account that I created last night, and I got a message from the Commonwealth Bank that it will take up to 24 hours. However, I believe this is because it was my first time transferring money into my Superhero account. My second time should be instant. Now, Pay ID is easy to use, but on the flip side, if your bank does not support Pay ID, you need to find another bank who supports Pay ID, because at the moment there is no other way to transfer the money to Superhero. If you want to know whether your bank supports Pay ID, you can check out the link in the description down below. With Superhero, you are able to do a market order or a limit order like pretty much all other share trading platforms. But you need to be on the paid subscription to submit a limit order. What I found to be quite annoying with Superhero are a number of things I will mention now. Number one, I cannot amend an order. So I will need to cancel my existing order and then create a brand new order. So it's a two-step process compared to the usual one-step process with other platforms. From what I know, even if you amend an order through platforms like CommSec, you lose your spot in the queue anyway. So an amendment is basically a cancellation and a new order in one single click. Therefore, just because you are using Superhero does not mean that you are disadvantaged. If you're a very fast typer, you are very quick with your fingers, you can pretty much cancel and create a new order within 1 second or maybe 2. The second thing I don't quite like about Superhero is that you need to pay to get the premium features, to get the live account. Superhero has two types of account. The basic account is free. The other account attracts a fee, but this is free until January next year, 2021. Now the live account gives you access to live market data, which basically means the prices you see on the screen is the prices at which the last traded price for the share or the ETF is. The basic account only gives you delayed market data, so it's probably 20 minutes delayed. You probably don't really need live market data because you can get it with your free CommSec account, but without the live account subscription, you cannot place a limit order. I always buy my shares with a limit order, so I know exactly what price I'm paying. This is especially important when I'm buying a small company or when I'm buying a small ETF. So if I do use Superhero as my main trading platform, I will definitely sign up for their live account. The third benefit of having the live account is that you get a more comprehensive tax and performance reporting. This is quite handy if you invest $100 a week, because if you use Excel to track your investments, you will have many lines on your spreadsheet and everything will become a big giant mess. Sometimes your shares pay dividends. You will need to keep track of maybe 100 different dividends if you have 100 different shares. Some ETFs also pay dividends, and because with Superhero you can buy ETFs for free, you may end up buying 100 different ETFs. So you may get 100 different dividend payments during the year. So your Excel spreadsheet already has 100 lines. So yes, you will definitely need the live account. Now, apart from the $9 monthly fee and the $5 fee per share trade, they do not charge any other fees unless you do something weird, like for example, if you tap the incorrect reference number when you deposit money with PayID. So yeah, this platform is pretty clean. I actually quite like Superhero, but another slight annoyance I have with this platform is that I couldn't find an actual app on either the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. But I can go to the website on my phone and it looks a bit like an app. It seems to allow me to log in on both my laptop and my phone as well at the same time, which is really handy. A drawback with Superhero is that you do not get paid interest on the cash balance you have with the platform. It's not a big worry for me because today's savings interest rates are only around 1% per annum anyway. And if I really want to, I can keep my money in my existing savings account. And because I can transfer funds into Superhero with PayID, then I will receive it instantly. But beware, a lot of banks have a smaller daily limits with PayID. It may be different from one bank to another, but usually it's something small, like $1,000. If you have some tips on which bank is best for large PayID transfers, please do comment down below. Now, this is the big drawback with Superhero. Your investments are not held directly under your name. They are held under a special purpose holder identification number under the name of open markets. This means you and me both share the same holder identification number. The reason it's done this way is that if, let's say, I want to sell certain ETF and you happen to have the same ETF that I want to buy, Superhero does not need to sell my ETF on the stock exchange. They only need to update their internal records, and on the stock exchange, my ETF never changes hands. So Superhero does not need to pay a fee to the stock exchange. A lot of low-cost brokerages do this kind of thing. I think it should be okay. I believe your investments are held under trust, so superheroes shouldn't be able to steal your money. But what can happen at some brokerages is that because your money is pooled with my money, if I invest in something funny like CFD, or if I do short selling and I lose money and I do not have money to pay for my loss, you may also lose money because there is not enough money in the trust fund. I don't think superhero currently allows CFD or short selling, so the risk is almost nothing, at least for now. My understanding is that, and don't quote me on this because I don't know it very well, but I believe you have some sort of coverage through the National Guarantee Fund in Australia. Open markets can access up to 15% of the fund's balance to compensate for any losses suffered by their clients. But anyway, in my opinion, if the amount of money you hold through superhero is small, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just like driving a car, we humans take some calculated risks. There are thousands of car accidents every day, and we still drive cars anyway. So with superhero, you get convenience and the ability to invest daily or weekly with as little as $100 with no fee if you choose ETFs to invest in. You don't need to time the market. You get the full benefit of dollar cost averaging by investing daily or weekly. So overall, I think the risk is worth taking. Plus, if you do a little bit of Google research, open markets seems to be associated with self-wealth and race, both of which have been around for some time. And don't forget that superhero was founded by the co-founders of Afterpay and Zip Co. They are really big names in Australia. You can still claim franking credits on your dividends. You do not get the dividend payments directly from the company that you buy into, but you get something equivalent from superhero. If you buy stapled security, for example like Commonwealth, the property fund, I'm not 100% sure whether you get an equivalent statement at the end of the year. So if you want to avoid potential headache, maybe just don't buy stapled security. You can probably work it out with the information that's published on the actual website of the company that you buy, but it's a little bit of a headache to work everything out because with the stapled security, there are normally 10 different labels that need to go into your tax return. If you don't know what is a stapled security, it's basically a share and a unit in a unit trust stapled together so that you buy the two components together. The distribution, the dividend will come from the unit trust. And the share basically allows you to buy the unit trust on the stock exchange. With this kind of indirect share ownership, I probably will try to avoid buying small companies that often do multiple capital raisings because I think it's going to be a little bit more annoying to actually participate in the capital raising. Sometimes you have to put your cash into the platform a few days before the deadline given by the actual company that's doing the capital raising. This is to allow them some time to submit your preferences, to submit your selection to the actual company that's doing the capital raising. Now let's get into the actual investments that you can buy. Well, you can buy pretty much anything on the ASX stock exchange, but Superhero has a screen which shows you a bunch of different themes. A theme is basically an ETF, an exchange-traded managed fund, which they want to promote. A lot of them are the BetaShares ETFs, although there are also Morningstar ETFs. If you keep scrolling towards the right-hand side, you don't have to buy their themes ETFs, but these are handy if you have no idea whatsoever about what to buy. Now scrolling down, you can see many different categories like today's risers, today's fallers, what's trending, BNPL, which is buy now, pay later like Afterpay, tech heroes, blah, blah, blah. What's important for new investors is not to blindly buy today's rises, today's fallers, or what's trending. You should be doing a lot of research if you buy anything other than the themes or the 3 large ETFs that I talk about in my other video, which are the index ETFs tracking the ASX 300 or the ASX 200. I will link the video down below. Now, if you click on a particular theme or a particular share or ETF on the superhero platform, you can see the chart. You can slide through the chart, you can slide that from left to right, and you get the historical price on a particular day. You can see the charts for 1 day, 5 days, 1 month, 6 months, and 1 year. For some reason, it doesn't seem to go beyond 1 year, which is a little bit annoying. Down below, you can see the trading volume, the market cap, the PE ratio, and the dividend yield, which are the main indicators that I look for. Price to book ratio would be nice, but I can live without it. It's also missing the list of recent trades, the cost of sales if you are using CommSec. Sometimes I like to look at not only the market depth, but also the cost of sales to make sure that there are decent sized parcels being traded around the current price shown on the screen. Just because the last traded price of a share is $10 does not mean that you can sell that share again for $10. What's also good with Superhero is that it does have a market depth and the news tab, just like CommSec and the standard share trading platform. By the way, the news tab, from what I can see, is not really news. They are the documents which are uploaded to the ASX portal, which are usually the compulsory disclosure documents. They are not news you can find on the ABC News or the Australian Financial Review, if you know what I mean. If there is a news document today, you will see some kind of newspaper icon at the top, like what you can see on the screen for the Afterpay I'm showing to you now. On the dashboard, you can track your portfolio value over 1 month, 6 months, or 1 year. It also has a diversification tab, which is quite handy. There is also a news tab on the dashboard, and it actually lists out all of the ASX announcements for all of the companies on your watch list. What's my take on Superhero? I haven't used this platform much, but to me it seems to be doing the job pretty well. It enables Australians to invest into the share market with as little as $100. There is no fee if you buy an ETF. How do they make money? I'm guessing that they make money from not paying you interest on your cash balances. With the Robinhood platform in the United States, I heard that they also make a tiny bit of amount of money by selling the ETFs to you at a slightly higher price, but the difference is barely noticeable and is still cheaper than if you use an alternative stock trading platform. Overall, I would use Superhero. I would use it to invest into ETFs, and I would also use it to invest into individual shares. I only have a few dislikes. Number one is that I cannot invest into the US stocks, but I can invest into Australian ETFs tracking US stock indices. Number two is I cannot see cost of sales, but I've still got my CommSec app, which is free of charge, so I can always open the app if I really want to know. I cannot see price to book ratio, but I don't look at this very often anyway, so it's not a big deal. The big positives of Superhero for me is that it is easy to use and it's very intuitive. It has themes and categories to help me pick my ETFs and stocks. If you enjoyed this video, or if you found a single bit of useful content, please gently consider smashing the like button. Share it with a friend who also wants to start investing. I just deposited $1,000 into my Superhero account last night, and I'm going to share my investing journey with you over the coming weeks. See you next time.